Hello everyone, Michelle here from Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is just using up this field notes book of natural history that I got at a secondhand shop, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it's going to be some really beautiful focal points in here. I love the vintage sheen and color of the paper, so don't get mad at me that I am ripping it up. If you love books and this upsets you, you're not going to want to watch this video. But these images are just so pretty, and I want to use them as focal points. Now, when I cleaned up my studio the other day, I found a little box of tags, and I've had these forever. So I thought a black and white kind of theme, just using this book alone, could be a fun little challenge. And I really love how this progress develops. So I start by some simple focal points on the tags, then I build a couple of pockets and corner pockets using the same pieces of paper scraps, and then towards the end of the video I put a little bit more three-dimension on the tags. And I just love how when you're sitting and crafting, how things can just develop, how your brain just starts to think it outside the box than when you thought, well, I'll sit down and just cover these tags. And your creativity and the flow just comes naturally a lot of the times. Not all the time. There are times where I just sit there staring at a blank page, but sometimes it just comes and it feels really nice. So this video is a little bit long, but it is full of some nice little results. So I hope you stick around and follow me, and maybe get your glues and book that you want to use up out. I highly recommend looking at thrift shops and secondhand bookstores for some gems like this. They really are inspiring, these kind of books for journaling, and I hope this little video gives you some inspiration. So as you can see, there are a lot of different images in here. It covers a lot of really fun, interesting specimens and natural history, really. So I did cut out the part with the spiders and all that, because I know that a lot of people don't like that, but I'll definitely be using them because I find them fascinating. But you see little mushrooms there. I'll end up fussy cutting those later. I do fast forward and edit some of the fussy cutting. It's a little too tedious to watch. And I did put this video in a fast forward mode because it is a long video. But I hope you craft along with me. Get your scissors out and your glues, and let's have some fun. So here I'm just using up the background I tore to fit inside the label, and then I picked a specimen that I liked and ripped that out. And now I'm just simply layering up these different pieces of paper from the book. And you can see I use some frayed burlap ink here to draw out the edges of the layers that I'm using, and it just helps create a little bit of depth to these tags. I'm also putting a little ink on the back just in case it doesn't get glued in and it ends up being, an actual tag. I'm going to pull out some stamps that I like. The ones I'm using right now are the Tim Holtz. I can't remember, field notes I think they're called. And then the one I used just before that was something I got off Amazon. It's an illegible handwriting. It's one of my favorite stamps. I use it. If you follow me, you'll know I use it in just about every video. And it just helps give that vintage vibe I'm looking for. I want to kind of create a little bit of visual interest with these stamps and a little bit more layers. I'm all about texture. Even though the texture is not raised up, it's still texture with the font and the stamps. So I'm going to do another one here, pretty much repeating the process. I'm just really having fun using up this book. And anybody who's junk journaled before and has a book that they've gotten that they've torn up knows that you can make so much out of one book. I mean, I've used maybe 4 pages out of this book so far, and not even the full page, so I'm going to have a ridiculous amount of scraps from this project. But that just means I get to create more. More scraps, more fun. So I had to edit there. Millie started barking like crazy. It scares me. It always makes me jump when she barks behind me. Anyway, so like I was saying, just going to repeat the process here, have some fun putting down focal points. inking up different spots. I just love the way ink warms everything up. It really does have such a beautiful vintage vibe to it. And when you find an old book like this that has some charming textured paper to it, and I don't know how to describe this paper, it's almost like a velvety feel, but it has a bit of a shine to it, and the edges of the paper are starting to yellow. So it's got some real charm, and it also has that that kind of library smell. I don't know if you guys know what that smells like, and some of you might not like it. Almost a musty smell without being kind of worried that it's dirty or something. It's just got that old smell to it, and I love that in a book. Okay, going in with a little more stamps here, just for some more visual interest on here. And then I'm gonna throw some ink pretty strong in the corners because I want to drop some water on it and kind of reabsorb the watermarks off, and it leaves behind this kind of old rusty looking watermarks on the tag. And then I'll go in with some watercolor paints here, some black, and just kind of splatter it and create a little bit more interest. I love the splatter. So it's just some fun little labels, really. Nothing too original here, but really having fun using up these beautiful images. I'll cut this butterfly out and a couple more, and I will layer some butterflies next. I'm just going to put the strings back through these, and that's those 3 tags completed. Really love those. And then I thought, well, I have all these pieces sitting on my desk that I've torn the bottom off, so let's turn them into some pockets. So I create a little triangle pocket here, and then I create a couple of folded pockets. So I'm just going to let the music play while you enjoy, and I hope you do, and I'll be back in a bit. So I continued working on some tags, and then I ended up changing them a little bit by putting a little 3-dimension on them. So I thought I'd show you how I did that. I did start with something pretty basic and simple using that field notes book. And last night I was watching TV in my bed and started fussy cutting some of the images out of that book. Just something to do to pass the time. I don't sleep much these days, so it's a nice little pastime just to sit there and cut out these really cute images that I can use. So today I was playing again with these tags, trying to use them up, and then I thought I really like the end results with the little 3-dimension for the tag, so I thought I'd show you how I did that as well. So basically the same procedure. I ripped down the paper, ink it, and then I took out another stamp, this old stamp here, and I'm still using my Stays On ink, and I'm just adding a little interest to the background by using bits and pieces of the stamp. So it adds a little interest. And then I thought I want to build up some 3-dimension using these scraps again. So these are the pieces that are from the book. And this field notes book is really quite interesting book. It's got some really beautiful images in it, and I kind of like the neutral black and white tone. Even though I've added a little warmth with the ink, it's still a very nice neutral palette to work with, which is quite nice. So I'm just folding up bits of paper random, see where it takes me, and then I'm just kind of throwing in my 3-in-1 glue here. It's starting to dry out. I need a new one. I'm just going to shove some glue in there, kind of fold it back up, spin it around, and then I'm going to ink it with my, what was I using? Frayed burlap ink. Just going to grunge it up a little bit, just for fun. And then I will glue that down somewhere. So I'm just kind of feeling it out. I have this piece here that came from my stash. So I'll cut a random piece of this off. Throw that in. Just building up some interest, so you can build it down the bottom off the corner. Depends what you're gonna, how you're gonna apply the tag, I guess. So I'm gonna throw that in. And then I found some, where did it go? I found it, now I've lost it. Oh, it's on my lap. Some bandage. This is like one of those triangle bandages. I just got this from the thrift shop. Just gonna cut a long piece right now for the tie. Very messy, very rough. And then just a chunk off. And then I just kind of pull it and distort it a little bit. And then I'll glue that on. And then I want some sort of focal point. I might make this a little bit smaller. A little focal point in here. So I was using this field label stamp from Tim Holtz, and I just ink the bottom of it because I only want the field label word. And then I will use another scrap here and print it. Cut that out. Of course, you can use any labels you might have out cut already if you've got, you know, washi tape labels and things like that. That would save you some time. But I want to use up these scrap pages from the field notes book as much as possible. See what I can get out of one book, kind of thing. So I have that. I could put another focal point on here, like another mushroom or birdie or something. I just love these fish. I love fish. Fish make me happy. What have I got? Let's see if I want to, maybe a bird. That could be fun. Just something like this. I still feel like this piece is a little too big. There we go. Hopefully I'm in frame here. So, something like this. And I just kind of play and lay it out, see what I like, what I don't like. Is it too much? Is it too little? The bird here. So now the bird becomes more of the focal point than the mushroom, which is kind of nice too. I'm gonna put this outside. I think I'm gonna glue this outside the perimeter, kind of have it stick out a little bit. It's kind of fun. It's gonna go a little heavy on the glue. Let's put that up there like that. And we'll put this over here. More glue. Throw that in nice and messy. Some paint would be really fun in this too if we had some gesso, some thick gesso, a modeling paste to really grunge it up with some texture. Could be fun. Okay, I'm gonna put the tie on. So just a random scrap here that we cut. And then we'll have a look and see how we feel about the overall composition of it. Let's tie it this way. Okay, so as you can see, this has become the focal point, and this is a little kind of left out now. So let's bump something up down here. What do we want to do? Maybe I'm going to use this, but I want this to stand out a little bit more. So let's use something here. Some scrap blank paper. Actually, maybe I'll stamp it first to see how I feel about it. Maybe it's too busy. I feel like I need something dark at the bottom. Like that. The field label across. Like that. It's snowing like crazy here again today. It looks like we got about a foot of snow. last night, and it's still snowing. Some errands to run today, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to use the black ink this time. Go around the edge a little. And then I really like this folded paper, so I think I might add a smidge more, a smaller one. Or even just kind of crank it up a little bit, like that, and ink it, just for some texture. More grunge. Who doesn't love grunge? Yeah, yesterday I had to do voiceover because there was too many people in the house. I was making a lot of noise, so today it's nice and quiet this morning. It's just me, dog, Millie's sleeping. So I thought, yep, let's try and get some done. And then I can talk to you guys. Because voiceover, I feel like I miss quite a bit. You know, when I'm crafting and talking, I feel like I get more explanation in, if that makes sense at all. But when voiceover, I can't really watch I can't see the video until it's going across, and then I can't remember what I wanted to say. I think I'm gonna put this in here just to add that texture. So it's getting pretty busy, but it's so fun. It's so chunky. So obviously it's not something I would slide in to a pocket because it's pretty chunky here, but it could just get glued down as something fun. Just overall texture, you know? So I really enjoyed making those. That's really fun. A more simplified version here. And then of course our original. I would like, you know what I'm gonna do though? I'm going to splatter some watercolor paint on here and just grunge it up for one more step. I just take my paints back out and get some, yeah, ooh, that's fun. Yep, love that. Okay, so out of one book and a couple of tools, obviously, and some, again, I had these labels. That's one of the reasons I have all these labels that are always sitting on my desk, and I never think to use them. But you can always just cut a piece of paper to create a label. You don't have to have labels, but so much fun just to create these. I hope you enjoyed today. If you did, please subscribe and share and give me a thumbs up. And thanks so much for joining me, everyone. All right, take care. Bye.